Okay, we'll call this meeting a Recreation Department meeting, not Recreation Department. Recreation Committee meeting on December 10th, 2018. Call it to order. If you'll stand for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. I'll pledge first. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Father, thank you for bringing all of us here tonight to do the work of the city. Please be with us and guide us as we make decisions and as we try to give input to the city so that they'll know how our citizens would like to have things done. We thank you for all the blessings that you've given us. Make sure that people know the reason for the season, and we ask that again that you be with us in all the decisions that we make tonight. Amen. Okay. First of all, I'd like to approve last week's agenda. So, can I get a motion?
I'll make
For
a motion
approval?
that we approve it.
Can you make a motion?
Can you make a motion?
No,
No.
I did too.
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I'll make it for you.
All right, make a motion for us, Brianna.
Motion to approve the agenda as written.
I need a second.
I second.
Any discussion before we vote? I should have asked that. Y'all weren't here, so I guess you're pretty much going by what the notes were, but I looked them over, everything looked good.
Well, this is just for the approval of the
Yeah.
agenda for.
Oh,
right now.
today's
Yes.
agenda, okay.
Nobody has any changes.
Anybody want anything added or anything changed to tonight's agenda? Nope. Okay, so if you'll vote, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the ayes have it. All right, no public comments, I
No,
take
ma'am.
it. And no public presentations?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Old business?
There's no old business that needs to be discussed. We've gone through all this at the last meeting, so we're good to go. We're ready to move on to presentation approval of minutes.
Okay. The minutes are the first page in your packet. So have y'all had a chance to look over it? All right, so if I could get a motion for approval of the minutes from last week's meeting, or last month's meeting, October 15th.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right. If we could all vote by voice, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we have the minutes approved. And we're moving on to new business.
Yes, ma'am. We have a slide presentation. Some of you have seen it. This is the same part of the slide presentation from last time as well.
Now, is this slide presentation covering all of A through D?
I think.
Update on recreational community facility, resident and non-resident fee, update on commission ordinance changes and commission openings and applications.
Everything except for D.
Okay, so A through C, all right.
Yes, and we'll go through rather quickly.
Okay.
Be appraised. Okay. Okay, and this is something that is new. Last meeting of council, they passed a resolution to go ahead and move forward on the contract with Bobbitt. So this is, part of the older version. We want to make sure you had the old and the new. I know some of you, like I said, it's all brand new for y'all. It took quite a bit of time to get to where we're at. But this is the newest design that was approved. And again, this is just a footprint. And it was approved, it's $8.5 million. And there are some changes, we're gonna add some showers, try and figure out the locker room a little bit better. But this resolution was passed, so this is what the center is gonna look like. There'll be some changes on the inside, outside as well. But again, the footprint is what we are working on. This is upstairs. This is the second floor of the walking track, and we added the bathroom to it as well. So that finally got through and approved.
So most of the changes are gonna be made around the classroom areas and that, not the basketball court area, but,
Yeah, this right here,
Or the
the court will
walking
stay the
track, yeah.
same. This area right here is the fitness center. Right now, it's about 3,500 square feet. We might cut off just a hair of it to enlarge, this area. Right now, this is a bathroom / locker room. And this area back here is where the locker room is, but they forgot to add, the, showers. So that is something that we're gonna add back. This area right here, we discussed last time, not officially for the public, but this area right here is something that we added. This is the community room, because as some of you may or may not know, the community room that we have right now, I believe January, is that about right, Brianna? January, February, I think they're getting ready to start demolition and start the process of getting some new offices back there for planning department. So we wanted to have a specific area for the community that they would be able to utilize and rent. We do have classroom space, all of that right here, that of course folks can rent out as well. But we just really wanted to give the community something that they already have and that they're accustomed to and used to. And this right here is a concession area. So if you have someone that has a wedding or a birthday, baby shower, they can prepare some foods up here. It's not a commercial kitchen. Just want to make sure for the record everyone understands that. And then it's also attached to here. So when we do have large tournaments, we have the concession stand that we'll be able to sell to the public in the gymnasium.
will this be ready before they do the office stuff over to?
No.
So we will be without a community room for a while.
Yes, yes, we will. I would like to tell you it's gonna be done this spring, that's our goal, spring of 2020. Realistically, I would probably say more towards the summertime, definitely by July 1st. But again, you never know depending on the weather. We just got the approval, so once we get the land transferred over, that should happen either the end of this week or maybe next week. Then we'll be able to move forward and to get the site work, all that stuff started on it. So it's very fast paced. Hopefully it won't take too long with site work. Sometimes it could take 3 months, sometimes it could take up to 6 months. But it's a relatively small lot of acreage. I think it's less than maybe 5 acres, I believe. So, in this area right here are the racquetball courts, and then we have some storage area. And this area right here is also room for growth. This is not covered, but we do anticipate if we need to grow the building that we do have room to be able to facilitate a little bit more growth. And same thing with some of the storage areas, being a little bit more ingenious with trying to figure out how to store stuff. And right here, there'll be a divider that comes down so we can have 2 games going on at the same time. And then we also have, this is a collegiate size court, so it's a pretty fabulous building.
We're thinking of 2 racquetball courts, right?
Yes, sir, right now we have 2 racquetball courts, they are located right here.
Sure.
And the simulator room, dedicated room was cut out, but we are gonna try efforts to go ahead and get the simulator. It will probably be housed in one of these rooms, and again, it's a mobile unit. That way police can use it, fire can use it, and the public can use it for golf as well. So.
Where
And
will parking be?
parking will be on, if I can go up here, on this side.
And the site
This is
plan
a-
has not been finalized for that.
No, it hasn't been finalized. This right here, I believe, is part of John Smith Road. So this is the front entrance. You'll be coming in from John Smith Road through this way, coming in and then out this way, but it has not, we still have to get the property and get everything worked out with the property owner.
But that's what you're thinking?
Yes.
Okay, I was just wondering where people would come in.
Yes,
Okay.
so. And then there's some other stuff that we're trying to look at, maybe doing an outside track. Again, it's a relatively small plot of acreage, so there's not a whole bunch we can do. We can't put massive fields and all that stuff in place as well, so. But we're pretty excited about it. And I think we have a meeting Wednesday. Yes, we have another planning meeting on Wednesday. To go
Is there
through-
land available around it? Should we wanna purchase or no? Is it
not at this-
I'm not
not at this
sure.
time.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think they have plans, but
Okay.
you never know what the future might hold, so. Okay, so does anyone have any questions about that? And my understanding, this has been going on for a couple years now, so I am excited that we finally have all come together and everyone's on the same page with it.
Do any of y'all have questions? Cause you might, like about location or anything, I mean, if you do, chime in because you kind of missed the previous conversation, so.
Where is this gonna be located?
It's on John Smith Road, if you go down 17, going towards Ridgeland. You'll pass John Smith, and it's gonna be actually right across the street from where Royal Live Oaks is.
Okay.
They're doing a lot of construction right there. We're literally right across the street. Any other questions?
That's all I have. I was
Okay.
at the last meeting in the audience. So.
Yeah, okay. Alrighty, I think the next one is, I can get to it, sorry.
Fees?
Yes. All right, each of you has in your packet the fee. This is something that we need to, that was tasked to me from council to bring something back that we could utilize. Let me see if I can get caught up here real quick. And basically what we're doing is we are putting a policy in place. This policy can change if you all decide that you want to make some edits to it, especially as we get a new facility. It doesn't cover resident, non-resident rate as far as the facility goes. This is mostly geared towards outside, but it does have some pieces in it in the back part for rentals. We have a lot of outside groups that want to come in and utilize our facilities, residents and non-residents alike. So again, we want to make sure that residents always get first priority. So what I've done is I've established it for program registrations. And again, I'm not going to sit here and read it. You guys can go through it. But it's a pretty fair policy across the board that covers a lot of very tight specifics, especially with athletics. We have a lot of groups that are in the area that want to utilize it. We have some that are more Hardeeville residents, some that aren't, some that are outside. We have a group from Savannah that comes out and uses it all the time. A lot from Bluffton area as well. So this kind of covers a little bit of everything. So again, we have the program registration side, and then we also have the facility side, which is up here. And then we have very specific athletic agencies, and we deal with several athletic groups and agencies, obviously, because it's an athletic complex. So, and again, if you all approve this as it is, or if you want to make changes, we can. At any time, once it's approved, taken to council and adopted. If, once we move forward, things need to be tweaked a little bit, we can do that. We would bring it back to you all. If the public comes in and says, no, I don't like how this is working, we need to try and figure out something else, we would bring that to you all and let you all know. And then we would tweak it if need be. But it's a pretty solid policy.
This includes the fields and stuff,
Yes, ma'am.
right? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Not just this building, new building.
Yes.
Okay.
Does anyone have any questions on it?
I think we talked last time where it was just really general, so that we talked about how we're not setting a rate, we're
Mhm.
saying that residents will pay 50% less than non-residents,
Right.
that sort of thing.
Yes.
So I like that general aspect of it, because I guess council will get down to the nitty-gritty.
Yes, council will
Part of it.
decide all the fees. We'll certainly give them recommendations, and that, once the facility comes to pass where we're getting ready to open it, we'll have a fee schedule that we'll present to you all, that you guys can make changes and go, and that's what we'll ultimately present to council for final approval before we move.
I think it's very well written. I looked through it and we talked about it last time, and I didn't see any need for changes, but I don't know how much opportunity, especially the newer folks tonight have had to.
Are you going to leave it up to
Okay.
the council to set the price?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
You're not gonna recommend or?
No,
This
we
is
do,
just general
we do
policy.
recommend, yes, I will recommend what the fees are, and then we'll bring them to, the commission, and then the commission will be able to comment on where they think it should go. Once that's done, we will take that to council for final approval.
Good,
Yes, sir.
okay.
This isn't the base rates or anything, this is just how we deal with resident and non-resident and how different groups are treated,
Yes,
correct?
yes,
That's what I
Overall
get at.
policy.
yes, yes. And I probably should have included, but I can also get for you guys our fee schedule that was adopted. And I think it's the first time Parks and Rec actually had a fee schedule that was adopted and changed and moved around, so, but I can give that to you guys, so you have that. So, and even with those, the fee adoption, there's times where, you know, the economy might be tanking certain areas and you have to kind of rearrange, see what other areas are charging and what have you. So they're constantly going up and down all the time, so.
So this will apply to net equally to non-residents and residents.
Yes.
I figure the racquetball courts will really get a big play,
Oh, yeah.
but here again, it's going to be the residents
That walking,
get first crack.
Right,
That's good.
yes.
I do have one question, and
Yes, ma'am.
it may seem pretty nitpicky, and I don't mean it that way, but I noticed, you know, residents get precedence.
Yes.
They get, what if it's already booked by a non-resident?
If a facility is already booked,
Then
it's
it's
already
off the
booked.
table?
Yeah, it's off the
Okay,
table.
that's
Yes,
what,
ma'am. Yeah,
I-
we have Rec Desk, and Rec Desk, does all of our master scheduling, so we're slowly trying to integrate the community to get used to having something online that they can look at. So it shows any kind of, if they wanna rent the turf field for certain dates or whatever, they can get on there, look at it and see, so, yeah. We actually had to kick, one group off for one of our programs, so, yep.
and that makes sense, I just want,
Yeah, it's first come, first served when it comes to renting facilities, but as far as the fees and stuff, that would always put your community comes first, for trying to
You
get
said
stuff
this
out.
applies to the whole thing, the football fields, the. something-
Yes,
okay.
the only thing that we haven't specifically, done is the community center as far as fees, but facility is in here, so it would help to cover
Okay.
part of that, yes, sir,
because we have contracts we have to honor and stuff, I know.
yes, we have, I think, 5 active MOUs right now that we have. And then when the Y comes in, they're gonna be pivotal in our contract with the facility, providing programs as well, so. Any other questions?
Okay, so what the council would like is for us to vote on this is what's coming recommended from, the Parks and Rec Department. So I don't see, unless we have, somebody just violently disagrees with something, we should just be able to, make a motion and approve it. But if y'all aren't comfortable moving forward, you need to let me know now before I call for we can table it or whatever, but we looked at this a little last week, and I know you sent it out, so, hopefully everybody had a chance to kind of look at it. Are y'all comfortable with voting tonight?
Is it holding anything up? No.
They just want it in place so that I guess they can start deciding what they're gonna do for the actual base amounts and stuff. Are you not comfortable with it, or would you rather?
I have so much homework to do, I figure at this point that, I mean, if you guys are comfortable with it, I'm comfortable with it. It seems to be you're describing a very fluid type situation
Yes.
where things can modify and be changed. So
Yes.
if
Easily
you have that,
modified.
if you've got that kind of leeway, then there shouldn't be a
Yes.
problem.
Well, and we can always request that there be an amendment made to it or something so if you look over it and, I mean, there's a lot of new people, so if you look over it and you feel like something should be changed, we can always bring that back up. I don't think council is gonna be upset. They want input from the community, so I don't think that'll be a problem. I would rather us vote on it tonight, and I think that's what Jennifer wants.
It would be great.
Because council is asking for it, but
Yes.
it's up to you guys. I mean, we could table it too, but I really would prefer that we vote. Okay, well, so if somebody will make a motion for me, that we will adopt this or not adopt it, recommend it. Because we're making a recommendation to council, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, they're the ones that, do policy.
I make a motion, sorry.
To recommend?
To recommend, passing it,
Okay.
to voting on it.
So I have a recommendation to pass the Recreation, Parks, and Tourism Department non-resident and resident fee policy. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor? Voice
Aye.
vote.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Okay. let's see.
It was okay to do the resident and non-resident and all together, right? That was all
Yes,
right.
yes, ma'am, yep.
Okay.
Okay, and this is just to give you an update on the commission ordinance changes. Again, they're in your packet. And old lady does not have her glasses on, and I can't read it here or up here. So I am unprepared to read that. When I came on board, one of the things that was tasked to me by Mr. Simbor, the manager, was in order to get this commission back up and rolling and on a routine schedule, much like the ATAX Commission, Planning Commission. So we looked at I looked at all this stuff and realized that we had some holes that we needed to work on, and that you all need a lot more guidance and direction in this exhibit, as you can see. So we made some changes, and this was approved by council, I believe 2 council meetings ago, which is why we now have new members here. And you'll get a chance to introduce yourself to anyone out there in TV land. But I just wanted to update you on that. It gives you a little bit more insight. This is the final ordinance continued. Alrighty. If anyone had any questions about it, we went from 5 members to 7 members. I know that they thought I must have been crazy. It wasn't going to happen. I'm used to having about a 10 member council commission, so I thought 7 was a pretty good number. And evidenced by all of you here, I think it's certainly something as we move forward that it's going to be really, really important to get more and more feedback. More and more successes grow more and more successes, and a lot more people will want to get on board with everything. So this is the Advisory Commission openings and applications. And Madam Chair, if it's okay, I'm just going to briefly talk about this.
Sure.
And then if it's okay to allow the new members to speak briefly on what their ideas are and how they came to be. We did go from 5-member commission to 7 members. There were 3 current openings. The applications, of course, can be found online. We do have 1 member, Scott Miller. This will be, I believe, the 4th or 5th time he's not here. And so we can make a motion to send that back to council to have that position more or less
Reopened.
yes. We tried to get emails and what have you. Scott is also moved. I believe he moved back to Georgia, and I think he's got 3 or 4 kids, so he's super busy. I don't think he would have a problem with it. So anyway, the completed applications, again, when we did this was a little bit before this meeting. But we have all those, and they have to be turned in to me, and then I get them to the manager for review, and then the manager in turns gets them to the clerk to get to council. And of course, all applicants are appointed by city council for a 3-year term. And we also reappointed Ms. Talbot, who is not here tonight. She was our vice chair. We will probably have to redo a vote since everybody is brand new. And then Ms. Carroll was reappointed as well for another 3 terms. So I think that speaks volumes to those ladies for wanting to re-up another 3-year term. So I'm very thankful for that. So let me just check to make sure. Yep, okay. So if you guys want to take just a brief couple of minutes, introduce yourself. You don't have to come down here. You can speak up there, or if you want to come down here, you can. That's up to you, whatever you're most comfortable with. Amy, we'll start with you.
My name's Amy Chester. I've been in Hardeeville for almost 20 years. My family's been here for about 50 years, I guess you could say. I've been working for the city for almost 1.5 years. And I have an 11-year-old daughter, a almost 13-year-old stepson, and an almost 9-year-old stepson. So they are at the perfect age to start doing things in the city and want to be around and help out with where the activities for the kids and where the city goes in the future.
Welcome.
Hi, I'm Ainsley Daly. I've been in Jasper County my whole life, 24 years now.
Young blood
Such
on
a
here.
long life.
Gotta have it.
So long. I was very involved growing up in the community, did Parks and Recs, all the county leagues, and just want to get back to the community. I don't have any kids at the moment, not for a long while, but want to get back to my community and help everyone out.
Thank you and welcome.
My name is Kevin Lombard. I'm the new person to the area. I've only been here for a few months. I moved down from the state of Maine. I relocated in Hardeeville. I've been involved with recreation pretty much for the last 20 years in a professional capacity up north. So when I came down here, I wanted to remain involved in recreation, so this popped up, and I thought this would be a good opportunity for me to learn about the area, stay involved in recreation. It was pretty exciting stuff, seeing the new building and things like that, so you don't get a lot of opportunities like that in recreation, so when you do, you know that it's a community that values its recreation, and I think that's very important. So.
Thank you and welcome.
May I ask, where in Maine?
Just below Portland, near Olachi Beach.
Because someone 3 doors down from me just moved here from Maine.
Ah,
And another neighbor lived in Saco, and his wife's Portland.
oh, Saco is where I was from.
Okay,
Yep.
his name was Ron Albert.
Ah,
Okay, it's interesting, 3,
Kevin lives in Sun City as well. I don't know if you knew that, so.
okay, well, these two do too.
Yeah,
Okay,
neighbors,
good.
everyone's neighbors.
Kevin Lombard, Lombard.
correct.
Good.
Okay. I think that is it for me, other than the director report, if you're ready for it.
Okay, yep, we're ready for the director report.
Goodness, a lot has happened.
Was a busy weekend.
Very busy. Since November 30th, it's been a blur. Well, actually, October 31st. So some of you might have heard about this. This was the Battle of the Badges. We had exactly 22 days to plan for this. No pressure at all. It's not a problem. It was a great event. It was very well attended.
Yeah, good turnout.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, the police just didn't quite.
A little bit of a runaway game.
They showed
Sorry,
off.
Sam.
We love you, Sam.
Yeah, but it was a really, really great event, and it went for a really good cause for JDRF. As some of you may know, my son is a type 1 diabetic, so it's it's very near and dear to me.
Do we know how much we raised?
We do. It was $3,120.94, I believe.
Pretty good for 22 days of planning or
Yes,
whatever.
and the majority of that does go to police. Police raised almost, was it $2,500 some odd dollars? Once all the costs were, deleted and everything from our total budget, but it was phenomenal. So both chiefs did win an award. Steve, they did take it home. I think the final score was 28-5, I believe.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it was a lot of fun. And so we've put the information out to our department heads and council for any ideas. I am always looking for new ideas. I'm very open, very honest with everybody. Anyone from the public, always looking, to make changes because it does take a village. And we want to make sure that we're continuing to do really good things for our community. So this was a great event. We did it back home. It was called the Rivalry, and it was kind of like the Harlem Globetrotters. It was comical. Everyone left with their bellies just rolling. So that happened on the 30th. Santa's Toy Box Drive. This happened last week. This is also part of the Angel Tree program. We had a huge, I just can't tell y'all, and I should have pictures, I just didn't get a chance to add to them, but they are on our Facebook, and they're on the city website as well. Sun City North, I believe, is that right? Sun City, make sure right. Just gave an overwhelming amount of toys, not only to the Toy Box, but also to the Angel Tree program. I believe there were 40 angels altogether that were all done individually for the kids of Hardeeville Elementary. So we dropped those off after sorting everything. We dropped those off last Thursday, and the school was just very, very welcoming and just, thanked us tremendously for it. So we have to get all of our information out for Sun City to thank them. And again, those pictures are always up online for accountability. It was just a huge, very, very heartwarming to see it. It was the whole size of a dump truck, and then I think we had another truck filled with bikes, and just all kinds of, I mean, it was just overwhelming. And this was my first year doing it, so, and I heard a lot about it, but I got to see it, so it was awesome. Let's see, what else? The Christmas tree lighting and parade. So that happened on Saturday, and it was horribly cold. The weather was just unforgettable. Miss Ava Comer with the Greater Hardeeville Chamber does the parade. The entertainment piece is handled by us, as well as the Santa that was inside. We have all this stuff. I'm not going to tell y'all yet. You have to wait till next year. But the weather wouldn't allow us to put some of it up, so we had to kind of retract, and so we had Santa inside, and that worked out well. So that was very exciting, and we had participation. Miss Carol was out there singing. Mary Horton had done "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." The Ridgeland Hardeeville band was out there. A glee, I mean, it was just phenomenal that we had a lot of folks out there in the nasty weather. We were getting all kinds of complaints inside, and I was like, just bear with us.
But they came.
They did. They did come. Yes, they did. Okay, I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I think that's everything, I think. Pretty much. Yes, so, like I said, we've got all kinds of other stuff that's
The
planned.
kids love the raffles too. That was a big hit.
Yes,
Santa's
that was
little-
something new this year. Kind of threw me off guard. I was like, wait a minute, because I was, researching. I'm like, this was not in any of the plans. So, but it turned out really great, and I think just about every kid that was there, and they're all from Hardeeville, got some. And there's always a growing need for the kids in the community.
Did each child get something?
Not every kid, and we had probably about 10 or 15 tickets that, people were just getting restless. They just didn't want to wait any longer, and they just left. And unfortunately,
Oh my.
they left out, and other kids prospered with it. So, but just about everyone that had stayed got something. Yes. So, and we had several parents that came up to us afterwards. Some of them were in tears, just telling us, they didn't figure out how they were going to do Christmas, and this was just like a godsend. So it was, it was very humbling to see. So, but that's pretty much it. We have quite a few events that are coming up. One of the things that we will be working on is a citywide large event, not to replace the Catfish Festival. I want to make sure that we're very clear about that, but something similar to that size scale of event. We're also going to be looking at bringing back the 4th of July event, not exactly called 4th of July. Can't tell you all the details just yet, working on it. So yeah, we're trying to do our annual calendar right now of all of our events, and trying to, continue to bring more and more to the area.
Are we still going to do the Easter program? That's
Yes, ma'am.
popular.
Easter is going to be held on, I believe, the 13th of April, 2019. And once we get the annual calendar out to you all, you guys can, add them to your calendars and stuff. And then hopefully we'll keep adding Halloween. That's another thing with this citywide event that we're going to do. Somewhere between end of October, early November. We're not sure yet.
The fishing rodeo's been pretty popular too.
Yeah, I don't think we did the fishing rodeo.
No, I
this
think
year.
the weather, wasn't the weather bad or
Miss
something?
Pittman had taken it over there for a while, and yes,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
one nodding, and it was kind of a joint event with what she was doing in Ridgeland, but using our pond.
Yeah.
And I'm not really sure what all happened with that, but it was in the past
Very
very
successful.
popular, done a little differently than her way, but there are many ways to do that.
Oh, yeah,
And,
absolutely.
but it was always fun to watch
Mhm.
city staff and the firefighters and police and
Help the
all of
little
us
kids.
help
Right.
fish.
Some of who never
we do
had
it back
held
home.
the
Yeah,
the
fishing
fisheries.
pole.
So it might
Yeah.
be something to look into. Just
The
an
American
idea.
Indians will be coming again this year?
The powwow?
Yeah.
Yes, I believe that's in March. I'll have to check the schedule.
Yeah.
Yes, because he's already reached out to us to see it, so,
Powwow.
Powwow.
That's why I
Yeah.
said American Indian.
yes.
Okay.
But there, like I said, there's lots and lots of ideas, and that's something that we'll be, looking, we have a huge wide age range. I tried to, we have a younger, a middle, I'm not saying they're not middle age, but, all the way up so that we've covered every age group that we possibly can, because we want to make sure that we're hitting all of the ages. We know that some of the stuff like Santa, it's gonna, mostly hit little kids, but you know, there's other events that we can do, that can hit, the seniors all the way up to,
There was a
Middle-aged and-
14-year-old there that was very happy the other evening. so.
yes. Yeah, well, that warms my heart. It was a lot of fun, it was exciting, and I can tell you, once we get our facility, it's game on. There's all kinds of stuff that we can do, you know, breakfast with Santa, all these different ideas that, you know, I've been doing for almost 30 years, so, yeah, that's where we're at, so. Any questions, comments?
I hope there's still on the radar some sort of outdoor open air something, because a
Yes.
lot of
It
these
is.
activities end up getting rained out
Yep.
because there's really nowhere to hold them.
Could I
Yeah,
digress?
And the
it's
heat.
coming, it's coming. That's the East Argent, area. That's part of the goals, for me to have a outdoor venue out there, more like a covered pavilion, so that we can do concerts, movies, all that kind of stuff. Festivals, like a festival
Yeah.
park. So it's in the works. We'll see if it, carries through.
Got a lot of work to do.
Yes, gotta get a road built.
I have one question, if I
Yes, sir.
can digress a minute.
Sure.
I've read this 3 times, I must be an idiot. Would someone just explain? For city recreational programs, the non-resident fee shall
Shall be 50%.
be an equivalent of 50% of the registration fee charged to city residents.
So if
Yes.
it's $25 for a non-resident, it would be 50.
It's double what they're charging.
Any fee. And I assume that's for baseball, right on
Are
up
you
to,
saying if it's 25%, if it's $25 for what?
For a resident,
for a resident,
resident.
then it would be $50 for
for
a
a non-resident, they're being charged
Okay,
twice as
It's
much.
backwards, it's written backwards.
Oh, okay,
That's all it is. It's,
okay.
It
It's just
shouldn't
written
be
backwards.
worded different,
Okay.
it should be.
Yeah, but
It's
I
just
knew
like
that's what she meant. That's
Okay.
why I asked
we
you
know what you
that.
meant, but yeah.
Oh, okay, I'll double check
It
it,
says the
make sure.
non-resident fee is 50% of the resident fee, is
Oh.
what it
Yeah,
says.
it threw me, so.
It needs to say 50% more.
You're not an idiot.
That's why I asked you the question earlier that, was
Right.
it 50%?
Yes, yeah,
That's what I
it's
thought it
50%,
should be.
and that's pretty much the norm, you know, and that's something too that we gotta look at, is some of the current fees that we have right now. I think they're a little high for our area, but it's something that we're gonna do in a needs assessment to check the analysis and see how it works, so. But I'll change it and update it and get you guys the
If you
update.
would please.
Yes,
Because I don't
absolutely.
know that we've really done that, per se, in the
Done what?
past.
No,
We've
So it
just
was-
charged,
it was
you
requested by
know,
council.
we've just pretty
Friend
much
of a
charged
friend of a-
everybody the same amount, which is not, yeah, fair, but.
Yeah.
yeah, well, it certainly has its plus and minuses, so.
Well, it gets more people involved, but,
Mhm.
especially like with rec sports, but,
Mhm. Yeah.
like you said, you could end up making exceptions if you needed to.
Yes, oh yeah, absolutely.
To make
And
sure
we'll
we
have
had
some
enough
different
people.
programs if folks can't, you know, afford certain stuff. We'll have a scholarship program, that we do as well. So those are givens in our community, so.
Okay. Any questions? Anybody have any concerns or anything they want to bring to Jennifer before we adjourn? Brianna, do you have anything, any wisdom?
I just am very happy to see that we have 3 new members.
Me too. Welcome.
We were getting lonely.
Okay, well then, I'm gonna ask somebody to make a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second it.
All right, and I don't think we have to vote, but
Let's go.
let your feet do the walking, be the vote.
I will walk the building if you like. Oh, I'll
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna do.
Yeah.